If you're in a lookout, you kind of have the best seat in the house to whatever goes on adjacent to your area. And so there's a lot that you can see, and a lot, even without seeing the fire itself, up there. And from weather conditions to, if there is a fire, on what the fire itself is doing. So in terms of writing stuff down, or in terms of passing stuff on to other people, you're a great resource for that, for these types of containers.
These are the newer Coulson next generation air tankers. 4,000 gallons we can load them with. They can sit loaded. These are kind of newer, so I'm not too dialed in on these guys.
So these things have a spectacular drop tank that Coulson has basically developed. He kind of bought the rights for an older tank and upgraded it. And some of their aircraft they're actually converting to 4,500 gallon tanks. But a really spectacular aircraft, fast, carries a lot of gas, 4,000 plus gallons of retardant every time. The interesting thing about this aircraft, it was in a museum, and Coulson owned the Martin Mars and the Philippine Mars, which were two piston airplanes that used to fly to Hawaii, and they could land in the water. And he traded the Philippine Mars to the museum for this, flew it to Sacramento and turned it into an air tanker. Started the business, and now he has 5 of these flying on fire contracts.
For this, well, back in the air, this would be more like 40 minutes.
And you load them hot? They're running?
They'll shut these side off. If it's at every side, they'll shut
Oh, okay.
the others they don't have to shut off. The other ones they don't. Okay, so they have to restart. Yeah.
Engine 4163 completed with prevention detail en route returning for room. 4163 1600.
So we work. We'll start the season here because we're up at 7,400 feet.
Yeah, I want to know. I'm
Start here, and then we'll go forever.
Hey, let's everybody elect over here. We're gonna collect over here. Let's go. Over here.
All our CAL FIRE air attacks use the OB-10 Bronco. I think all of them, right, Chief? Really powerful plane. Vietnam plane. They used to have like rocket pods and machine guns on it. A couple of pilots have told me they used to put like parachuters in the back. So they used to stuff like 4 or 5 people in the back with parachutes. Really tiny compartment. But it was a reconnaissance plane, so it's meant to like land anywhere. You know, really fast, really can fly low. But really good for, you know, the ATGS that can just, you know, you got a 360 visual. We hot load these guys so they don't shut down their engines when we load them. They'll come in, you know, propellers still running, you know, kind of all hand communication, and we, you know, we'll be in the back and we load them up. Navy planes, so they were built, they used to land on carriers.
I finally made it to South Fork Camp after phase 2 of fire lookout training in Porterville. Touring the air tanker base was a plus. I picked this site for 2 reasons. 1, it's a nice site, and 2, let me show you. Whoever was here last left a lot of trash. Funniest thing about it all is they left a garbage picker upper. I have the same storage containers as the air tanker at the air tanker base. I doubt his has food in it.
Right, you get to come see these things.
Oh, wow. Good morning, everyone. Today is April 28th, and I'm in the southwest corner of Sequoia National Park. I'm going to hike to Garfield Grove. Garfield Grove formed the heart of the original 1890 Sequoia National Park. It's about 3 miles one way. Getting to the ridge is all uphill. We're gonna have to do something about that. One thing I am gonna do is bring a cabana boy on my next trip. Cut down some of these smaller trees that are blocking the trail. I think this is where we bid farewell to the oak woodland and we start getting into the conifers. Yep, I think that was a safe assumption. Everywhere I want to sit has ants. That's all right. I had to rinse the GoPro off. I had to rinse the GoPro off the last time, and that led to some really good underwater shots. I think they call that Homer's nose, but I'm not 100% sure. Well, that's what I came to see. This is one of the first sequoia trees I've encountered on this hike. I must be entering Garfield Grove. I don't know if you can see it on the video, but I count a total of 4 sequoias. There's 2 more. There's about a dozen so far that I've seen. The water's getting louder, so I think I'm getting closer to Snowslide Canyon. How cool is that? And there's some more uphill. I always put the ridges at the top. I hate hiking uphill, but this is why I do it. Giant sequoia with snow-capped mountains in the background. Holy crap. I think this is Snowslide Canyon. It was never my intention to hike to the snow. What's wrong with me? The trail continues that way to the heart of Garfield Grove. I can't get there. As much as I'd like to, there's no way I'm going to be able to hike to the heart of Garfield Grove. I can't cross Snowslide Canyon. I'd fall through the snow, slide to my death, and drown. Much better. Almost at the trailhead. So that's where we are. And that's where I hiked to. Snowslide Canyon. I didn't make it to the heart of Garfield Grove, but I did hike through the western edge. I'd say that's mission accomplished. I just got back from my hike to Garfield Grove. The guys camping across from me are gone, but they left something. Terry, we found these old rounds. We don't know what to do with them, but didn't want to leave them in the open. Can you please give them to the ranger? Thank you, friends of the park. This tent has been abandoned since I came in on Saturday night. I'm gonna check inside before I report it to the rangers on my way out. That's interesting. There's 3 machetes stuck in the ground outside the door. Do I really want to look inside? At least it doesn't look like a crime scene. Good morning. It's April 29th and I'm back, just like I said. I'm going to hike out to Ladybug Camp and look for a lone sequoia. It's growing at the lowest elevation in the world. There's something worth checking out. Hope there's nothing in there. Well, it seems I've lost the trail. I think this is actually a side trail. I had two choices. One was straight uphill. It looked a little bit overgrown. This one followed the creek for a short distance. It seemed to be more well traveled. So I decided to take that one, the path of least resistance. But it ends right here. Luckily, James covered this in his backpacking made easy class. So I'm going to go back to where I know the trail is, which was at that log crossing, and reevaluate from there. I'm back at the log crossing, and this is the trail that I took. But there's one important fact that I forgot. Always look both ways when crossing the creek. That's the real trail. That looks like Snowslide Canyon way off in the distance. That's what I hiked towards yesterday. That looks like Ladybug Camp and a good place for a snack. My boots are still wet from yesterday's creek crossing. I guess my left foot must be hotter than my right foot. Those reinforcement rods are the remnants of an old bridge that once spanned the South Fork. A trail formerly led from the bridge up the ridge to connect with the Garfield Hocket Trail It was abandoned after the bridge collapsed from heavy snow in 1969. I found it, the lone sequoia. It's the one in the middle. It's growing at one of the lowest elevations in the world. It's thought that as a seedling, this tree washed down the slope from Garfield Grove in an 1876 landslide.